Good morning, everybody. Coffee with Karen. How's it going today? I am really doing it up. We're about to, this will probably be kind of quick because we're gonna take a little road trip today. And my nephew just came over to say goodbye because he's traveling now. So I'm here, we're in the town he lives in, and now he's leaving, but I get to spend some time with him, which is nice. I'm only 14 years older than him. Anyways, so today's topic is I woke up kind of inspired to talk about it. It's kind of been on a list for me. And I love this idea of, and there's going to be people who have way more information about this, maybe therapists that are watching. I know I've got some therapists that watch. And I would love dialogue about healing our inner child. Okay. And I'm quite intrigued by this because I feel like, and I'll tell you an activity that I did for myself that I thought was quite healing. And it just made me like, I've never done that before. And I never really understood the whole like healing your inner child. But what it means to me right now, and again, I'd love for the dialogue to happen in the comments because that's really what helps everybody in the community talk about, because you'll get new ideas from everybody, different ideas. And so do I. So one of the things I did, because I never really did any research or took a class or anything like that talked about healing your inner child. But I know it's something that a lot of spiritual folks will talk about, or I've heard it like maybe in a book or something. I've just heard it. And so, I don't know, maybe a month ago, maybe a couple months ago, I decided that I just laid down, and I'm 55. So what I did is I laid down, and it took me, I don't know, 30 minutes maybe. Like if you're younger, like it just depends on how old you are. But it took me about 30 minutes, and I just went through, literally, I looked at myself like being born, and I gave that part of me a little hug. I think this is what I did. I said something like this. So you guys can share different ways to do it because I would love to hear different ways you could do this and then try different ways. Okay. Because I think the more we could do this, the more you could heal each part of you. Because your inner child, to me, even so I'm 55, my 54-year-old self was different than I am at 55. And my 54-year-old self, I can look at that person, who that person was, and give some love and light and healing to my 54-year-old self. So you could go back, literally, like lay down or sit up, or whatever you're going to do, and just go through each age, like starting at birth. And like if you have a baby picture of yourself, you can kind of think of that person, who that person was at that time, and just say, you know what, I've got you. You're okay. Thank you for having that experience. That's kind of what I did. It's just thank you for having the experiences you did at that time to help me be who I am today. And so I just kind of did that and gave a hug and just said, you're safe. You can rest now. It's okay. Whatever you're trying to heal. And then you go through each age. So then I went to my 1-year-old self, and I kind of like looked at her in my mind's eye and just said, it's the same thing. Whatever you want to say to your 1-year-old self, and then your 2-year-old self, and then your 3-year-old self. And it's really interesting. I'd love for, once you do it, for you to comment here too, because it's really interesting to see what comes up for you. And like all the different experiences you might have had, like some joyful, some horrible experiences at different ages. And that's what you remember about that age. If they're horrible ones, then it would be nice to be able to say to that, thank you for going through that experience for me, because it has allowed me to be here, type of thing. And just acknowledging that you are no longer, like I am no longer my 54-year-old self. I am my 55-year-old self right now. And it's almost a way of helping to let go of the past, maybe heal some of that stuff that we're still hanging on to. Giving those different selves of ours hugs and love, and just say, you know what, I'm 55 now and I really appreciate it, but you can rest. Like, thank you for doing that, and we don't need to carry that on anymore. You know, just stuff like that. Just, it's really an interesting process. So I'd be curious to know if and when you do that, if you've ever done that, what you would do. Now, I had just thought, because we've been talking about, if you've been on the channel for a while, we've been talking about the Ho'oponopono, which I finally know how to say just off the top of my head. My goodness. So if you're not sure what that is, I do have a video. I'll try to remember to link it below. If not, it's called um, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. That's the title of my video. I'll link it below. Don't worry about it. So you could do the Ho'oponopono for each age, but again, we all know if you've tried this Ho'oponopono, just, maybe like it might take you, like you might want to do 55 days. Like if you're 55 or if you're 34, you might want to do it over the next 34 days and just do like your infant self, do the Ho'oponopono for your infant self. Okay. Like just one day. And then your 1-year-old self, do it the next day. Because I think if you do it all in one time, you're going to, it just, it'd be hard. Like, you just could feel it. Like it might not be, you might have a couple days of feeling sadness, depression, whatever. And it's, why go through that if you don't have to? It's already hard enough, like the day you're living, sometimes depending on what's going on. So, but I think that could be interesting. So I just would have to remember to do it. If it like it literally take me 55 days, which, would be worth it, I think. So that would be maybe something you would have like a little checklist for. Just draw on a piece of paper, like put every age down so that you remember which age you stopped at for the Ho'oponopono. So I think that would be fascinating. So we could I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to hopefully, hopefully I'll just remember to come back and report on that. So I would love, if anybody else is going to do it and it's going to, it might take a period of time, we'll come back and maybe report on that at some point, or just in any video whenever you're done, and see how it feels. How I think the healing would be tremendous to do that, the Ho'oponopono prayer for each age. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments what age, like if you have any other ideas for healing the inner child. Because I don't think we need to hang on to that stuff. You know what I mean? Why are we hanging on to stuff from any other age? I do think my 54-year-old self is like my inner child still. My 54-year-old self went through something that I now have more experience than my 54-year-old self. So they're younger than me right now, right? So that would be like an inner child. So 53, 50, like 50, my age 50 was, ugh. I have a lot of healing to tell my 50-year-old self, thank you so much for going through that. That is amazing. It's when I went through, like, started menopause. And it was COVID, and I lost my job all at the same time. So, like, I have to spend a little bit more time with my 50-year-old self. Maybe that's what you have to do too. And I would say my 44-year-old self was when my mom died. What else? My 31-year-old self was when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So, of course, they're all the like horrific things. Not horrific, but, harder experiences that come up in my mind. And some other job stuff that would probably be hard. And then to maybe try to focus on also, maybe I'll have a checklist of each age, kind of try to remember some things I want to acknowledge for those ages, and maybe positive and negative, or positive and, light and, I don't know. I don't really like using the word negative or dark, but challenging. Like, what were some challenges you went through, maybe that would be good too. So you could be really specific about it, or just go with the flow. Intuitives here probably would rather just go with the flow. If you're a sensor and you like the step by step, this kind of checklist, or even a J, which is how you organize your time. I don't want to get into the Myers-Briggs too much, but the last letter of the Myers-Briggs is J or P. J is, they're called judgers, but it's not about judging people. It's just how you judge your time. And they tend to be very organized, more checklist specific. So I'm a J. So J's, that's why I can see myself doing this checklist for the days or for my years. P's kind of go with the flow, last minute people. There's a lot to learn about if you've got people in your life who you would consider slobs, or why do you wait till the last minute, and it's kind of aggravating to you. It's because their personality type is probably quite different than yours, and they're probably perceivers. That's the last letter of the Myers-Briggs. Maybe someday I'll just do a full video on the Myers-Briggs. I actually have a class, but I do have a class, and maybe I'll put it up. I have a class on the Myers-Briggs that my colleague who's really good at the Myers-Briggs, she did it with me. It's an online class, and you'll have to let me know if you'd be interested in this. It's for entrepreneurs, like how to focus on Myers-Briggs for entrepreneurs. But there's a section that I can pull out of there that's just the intro to the Myers-Briggs. So it's like 45 minutes or an hour. So I could pull that from the class, and I would sell it for a lot less. If you were interested in just the intro, maybe I'll do that. I wouldn't charge a lot for it. I think the class I have up at 127, but that's really focused for entrepreneurs. So so maybe I'll pull it out and sell it for like 27 or something. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Maybe I'll just do that and put it in the description at some point. So, because it can be really helpful to know your Myers-Briggs type, or just kind of talk about it too. Anyways, that was a whole tangent. So we're off. We're going to do a little road trip, and I got to be ready in like 30 minutes. So that's all I've got to say. So let me know about what you think about the healing the inner child. Do you think there's any validity to it? Do you have any ideas on how you've done it in the past? If you have any ideas of how we could do it going forward, just share different ideas. And I'm going to write the ideas down probably for myself, whatever you guys share, so that I can continue working on it in just a easy, subtle way. And I think the more we heal our inner child, I think the better off we'll feel today. That's my sense. Because I felt really good after I did that. And again, it took me 30 minutes just to go through my age. It was a very simple, like, I got you, I love you, thank you for going through that. Here's a big hug. And it took me about 30 minutes, and I felt really good after that. So I can imagine that if I did the Ho'oponopono, how much better I would feel. So it's really, the whole idea is about healing yourself today. It's about having the best day today. So the more we can let go and heal our inner child, the more we can feel really good today. I mean, that's the whole point, right? For me, I just want to feel good every day. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can feel good every day. We just have to get to where those knots are, and figure out why we're not feeling good every day. And it could be chemical in your body, but it also could be just, all the things, the layers we've been picking up over the years since we've been born. So, all right, have an amazing day, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully with Karen, Coffee with Karen. I should have done this again. Click. I keep forgetting to do it in the beginning. I mean, what good is it now at the end? Click. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.